Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on the Tempest and we get to hear from Ariel today in Act 5, Scene 1. That's right, we've made it to the last act and last scene of the play because there's only one scene in this act. So the stuff that has happened. Ferdinand and Miranda got married, sort of there was spirits blessing them and then some dancing. And then in the middle of that, Prospero remembered Caliban, and Caliban was trying to kill him, along with Stefano and Trinculo. So Prospero and Ariel and a bunch of sprites played a trick on Caliban and Stefano and Trinculo, where they laid out like all this fancy clothing that Stefano and Trinculo were sort of mesmerized by because they're very drunk. And they get into like, that garment's mine, that garment's mine. And then Prospero and Ariel and all of the spirits like came in like barking dogs and scared them away. So they've all had a terrible, terrible fright. And the king, Alonso, and all of the people that were with him, so including Antonio and Sebastian and Gonzalo and all of those sort, had a terrible fright a few scenes ago when Ariel and the spirits presented this amazing banquet, which then disappeared, and Ariel showed up as a harpy and was screaming at them, "You're all terrible people, and remember the horrible things that you did to Prospero, haha, you're gonna pay," and then disappeared. So in the interim, they like all ran away. Alonso still thinks that his son Ferdinand is dead because they weren't able to find him on the island, but they sort of went running. And Ariel, as we'll find out in his speech, had something to do with where they ended up. But Prospero is now like ready for all of this to come to a head, because at the very beginning of the play, he's like, we have a lot that we have to do in these next 6 hours. And he kicks off Act 5 by, he shows up and he's in his magical robes and Ariel's there and he's like, what time is it? And Ariel's like, it's about 6 o'clock. So it's been the 6 hours, it's time for everything to wrap up. And Prospero is very much in that, okay, let's get all of the stuff, all of my magics and all of my spirits and all of my things, let's all come together and hope that all of this works. And then he says to Ariel, so where is the king and his group? Where are they? And Ariel says, confined together in the same fashion as you gave in charge, just as you left them. All prisoners, sir, in the lime grove which weather fends your cell. They cannot budge till you release. The king, his brother, and yours abide all three distracted, and the remainder mourning over them, brimful of sorrow and dismay. But chiefly him that you termed, sir, the good old Lord Gonzalo, his tears runs down his beard like winter's drops from eaves of reeds. Your charm so strongly works him that if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender. So what they is saying is that Lord Gonzalo and Alonso and Sebastian and Antonio and all of them have sort of been frozen outside Prospero's cell. They're all like, they've been charmed to be frozen with whatever feeling they had at the moment that they were frozen. And the king and Sebastian and Antonio, why am I pronouncing things weird? All seem a little weirded out by this whole thing. A lot of the people that are there are just sort of sad, probably because they didn't get to eat that banquet and then were spooked by a harpy and they haven't been able to find Ferdinand and they're lost on this desert island. But apparently Gonzalo is the saddest of all of them, and the tears that he had been crying like froze on his beard when he was frozen. And Ariel's like, they are so frozen right now and these emotions so captured that if you saw them right now, you might feel bad for them. And Prospero's like, really? Really? You think I would? And Ariel's like, I kind of do. And Prospero has a response that is tomorrow's monologue. So I'll see you then for that. Mwah.